Hi, this is a Curvy 3D 4.1 tutorial showing some primitive and deform tools in Curvy 3D. This is a demon model I made using sketched primitives, merging and sculpting. I'm going to be showing you how to make some of the individual parts. First off, the teeth. With a line object, you can change the start and end width with radius A and radius B in the object properties to make a good tooth or claw. Very simply, I use the smooth redraw tool to smooth the curve. For the squarer teeth, I'm going to use a lathe object, but we don't want a rounded shape. The default lathe with two curves will make a completely round shape. If we add another curve by cloning one of the side curves using curve clone, and then go to the top view and rotate that curve 90 degrees to the side of the object and turning on lathe symmetry, we now have more control over the profile of the object. And by moving this curve and rotating it into place, we can make the tooth quite sharp on the top. Again, all the curves are still editable, so it's very simple to tweak the shape. Just going to make the tooth slightly wider at the base, using the E shortcut to get rotation mode up. And just edit the other curves until we have the right shape we want. Next, I'm going to make this sort of pincer. So I'm going to start with the overall shape with a lathe object, drawing down one side and then the other side. And using the redraw a simple curve to smooth the sides. To use the ruler tool, you drag a section of the curve and it'll redraw using the ruler between that section. Again, I'm going to use curve clone because we don't want this shape to be rounded, we want it to be quite flat. So I'm going to rotate the curve into place, but not 90 degrees, only a few degrees this time. And when I use lathe symmetry, it creates an almost triangular profile cross section. So we're making again quite a flat object. Smoothing that curve. So now we want to add the details. So to do that, I'm going to I could convert it into a normal mesh and pull out some bits, but I want dynamic detail, so I'm going to turn it into a dynamic subdivision mesh. And make the soft move tool a bit sharp. You see it's subdivided near where I dragged out. Holding control lets me change the size of the tool, and I just drag out the spikes. Next, I'm going to make the tail of the model. There's quite a lot of detail here, and it's deformed into a swinging tail shape. So I'm going to start with one part of the tail, one section, drawing with the lathe tool and tweaking it into shape. So we're just tweaking the shape of the curve to change the object. Next, I want to add some flatness to the sides, so I'm using the gradient mask. That's a 4.1 tool. Solarize and invert lets me select the two opposite edges of the object. Again, from the other angle, using the gradient mask, dragging across the object, fill in a gradient mask. Solarizing and inverting lets me select opposite sides equally, and scaling those down squares the lathe. Again, soft move tool with a slightly pointy shape. Dragging up to shape the segment. So there we have one segment, and there could be more detail in this segment. It could be like covered in dragon scales or a lot more detail, but this is quite a simple shape. And then I'm